Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sky Knight. So I really like BSPWM. I've been using it pretty much exclusively for quite a while now. To be perfectly honest, I haven't had a lot of experience with other tiling window managers. I tried i3 for a little bit. It was all right. I jumped ship to BSPWM because I like to try different things, and I've been stuck on BSPWM for ever since. I don't know, it just seems right to me. So I thought it'd be nice to, let everyone else know about how nice BSPWM is. This is essentially going to be a off-the-cuff series about, BSPWM, the setup, the configuration, how everything works, how I set it up, things like that. So this very first one, we're just going to be installing it. I'm going to be installing it on base Debian virtual machine. It is essentially the same process on Arch or really any other distribution. They all should have these packages in their repositories. It's going to be BSPWM, Xorg if you don't already have Xorg, because it doesn't work on Wayland. I think River is on Wayland, but I haven't messed around with River or Wayland yet to this point. We're going to be installing Xorg. We're going to be installing BSPWM, SXHKD, which is kind of the hotkey daemon for BSPWM. It's called Simple X Hotkey Daemon, as well as Polybar, as a little, I guess, a note or a bar at the top of the screen that I really enjoy Polybar. There's a lemon bar, I believe, is also supported. I've literally never looked at it. I don't know anything about it. It exists, that's all I can tell you. And finally, the last thing we're going to be doing is installing Rofi. It's essentially dmenu, just an application launcher, except it doesn't look like shit. I don't like the way dmenu looks. I like the way that Rofi looks. I know dmenu is extensible as hell, but I don't need a lot from an application launcher. If I wanted to run bash commands, I'll just open up a fucking terminal, Anyways, let's get into it. Oh, before we get too terribly far, drink for the night. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Jack Daniel's single barrel, the barrel-proof version. What is this? 65.35% alcohol or 130.7 proof. It's pretty ridiculous. First time I've tried the Jack Daniel's single barrel, and yeah, it's definitely a bourbon, or I'm sorry, a Tennessee whiskey. It's a hell of a lot better than Jack. What is it, 27, 47, whatever the big square bottle of Jack is that you generally get, but I don't know. I don't think I'll get it again, but it was nice. Anyways, here we go. All right, so here we are in a base installation of Debian. The only thing I've done to this so far is upgrade it to Debian testing. As you can see up at the top, it is running Bookworm, or I guess Sid, you'd be able to see it as well. So I upgraded it to Debian testing, and I installed Vim. That's the only thing I did. For the actual install process, I actually did a video, the Bare Bones to Beautiful series, way back when I started this channel. This is not that same VM, but kind of want to start that up again. Anyways, that video is up here somewhere to show exactly what I did. Essentially, there's no desktop environment or anything. It's just the standard utilities options that are at the very bottom of the last screen, if you're familiar with the Debian install screens. Anyways, so just log in and let's start installing. As you can see, I don't have anything as far as in the way of desktop environment or anything. All right, so let's start installing things. First things first, we want Xorg. We're going to want Xorg server. I think it's like Xorg core X server. We'll find out what it is. So sudo apt search Xorg, because I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be, and I should have put that into a less. So I'm going to pipe that into less just so I can cycle through it. Okay, and do we start at the top? Yes, we start at the top. Okay, so if we search for core, I think. Nope. Nope. Okay, so here we go. We want this xserver-xorg-core. So we're going to install that. Sudo apt install xserver xorg core. And just accept the defaults for that. And I'm not 100% sure if this comes with things like XR and R or start X. So let's just see if we can. Which start X? Nope. Which XR and R? Okay, so neither of those are installed. So let's install those quick because they're both going to be needed by BSPWM. Sudo apt search XR and R. For the longest time, I thought this was pronounced Xrander. Apparently, it's not. It's pronounced XR and R. I don't know why. Okay, so what we're going to want is this x11-xserver-utils. That's the package that's going to be included in this. So sudo apt install x11-xserver-utils. And the only reason that I know that it's that specific package is I've done this a fair few times. So we'll install that. And I don't believe, so I still think we're still missing start X. So if I do which XR and R, it's like I have to physically force myself to say XR and R. Yeah, right up here at the top is kind of how I found out that it's pronounced XR and R. So Xrander, primitive command line interface to R and R extension. Okay. I kind of like to say Xrander, but now that I know it's pronounced XR and R, I have to say it. Sort of like how you would think GIF is pronounced GIF, but that's not what the creator of the damn image format says how it's pronounced. So everyone that says GIF, you're wrong. Ask the creator of GIFs. Anyways. So we have Xorg, Xserver core, or the base installation of Xorg. We have XR and R. I think we still need start X. So sudo apt search, start X. Xinit. That'll work. Sudo apt install Xinit. Okay, so now we have, I think, everything we need on the actual side of like displaying it. If you already have a desktop environment, you're not going to need to do any of this. This is just what you have to do when you start from, bare bones. So now let's install BSPWM. So sudo apt install BSPWM. Take the defaults for that. I suppose we could have just added all of these in one line, but what's the fun in that? Well, bring that to the top. Sudo apt install. Let's do SXHKD. That's difficult to say. Okay, so that is already installed when you install BSPWM. Didn't know that. I don't think that happens on Arch, which is what I have last run this on, but cool. So SXHKD is installed, so sudo apt install. Now we're going to want Polybar, which is the bar at the top. Okay. Now we have Polybar, and let's add sudo apt install. I'll bring this to the top. Sudo apt install. So we have Xorg, we have BSPWM, we have Polybar, SXHKD, we need Rofi. Or I suppose if you really want to, you could use dmenu. But like I said, I don't like the way dmenu looks. Fight me. No, don't fight me. I would cry. Okay. So now we have everything installed. We just need to set it up. So I don't believe that I should have anything in my directory so far. So no, we need to create a exinit file. So let's do... I'm going to use Vim to create this file. You can use Nano or what have you. I'm going to use Vim. This isn't a lesson on how to use Vim. I've just been drawn into the cool factor of Vim. I thought about giving Emacs a try, and I've just never gotten around to it. So vim.exinit.rc is the file that you're going to want to create, is the .exinit.rc. It's going to be a dot file. And in this, the only thing that we're really going to want now is to write exec. Actually, let's make sure that this is considered a bash script file. So we're going to want to execute BSPWM. Write and quit that. Oh, and I don't have any of these keybinds set up, so we'll see. It's listed here, exinit.rc. I don't think I need to make it executable. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure we don't. First thing we need to do is add some configuration items. So we're going to make a directory for .config, and we're going to make it for all of them right now. So BSPWM, SXHKD, Rofi, and I think that's it, actually. So what we're doing, if you're not familiar with how this works, we're making a directory or a parent directory called .config, and then we're adding BSPWM, SXHKD, and Rofi directories. Although since .config doesn't already exist, you're going to want to pass a -p to, actually I'm not sure what it stands for, to create the parents if they need to be created. I just, -p probably stands for parent, now that I think about it. I've never thought about it before. Now if we look again, and LAH, you don't really need, ls-la would do it. I just like the long list. LAH gives human readable numbers. So you see 4 kilobytes instead of 4,096 bytes. And just what I set my things up to do. So the first thing we need to do, we need to grab example configs for BSPWM, Polybar, SXHK. Oh, do we forget Polybar? We did forget Polybar. So make a directory, call it Polybar, inside of the config directory. Okay, close that out. And now we're going to want to go to cd / usr share doc, and let's list these. Okay, that's a bit much, so there should be BSPWM directories. Yep, BSPWM. So we're going to hop into the example document folder for BSPWM. I'm going to list out these contents. You see that we have a bunch of things here. We're going to want to jump into examples. So you cd into examples. Take a look at that. So this actually comes with both a BSPWM RC as well as a SXHKD RC, which is the config file that you're going to want for both BSPWM as well as SXHKD. So what we're going to do, we're just going to copy these into our newly created config directory. So we are in /usr /share /doc /bspwm /examples. This should be the same regardless of what system you're on. I believe the document or the documentation folder is the same path for everything. So we're going to copy BSPWM RC, and we're going to put that into our .config/BSPWM folder. And we're going to copy the SXHKD RC and put that into our .config/SXHKD folder. And we can now back out of here. And I'm not sure if Polybar actually has a example config or not. They probably do. Let's look for it. So cd polybar. They sure do. Let's see what's in here. They also have an example, so let's hop into the examples. Oops. So they have a folder called config.ini. Sounds like what we should be wanting, right? So let's copy that over. So copy config.ini and put that in our .config/polybar folder. And now one that I know isn't going to have an example is Rofi. So if we try to look for Rofi, oh my God, does it? Oh, is this new? Okay, it actually I don't know what any of these are. Okay, nope, I don't like any of that. So one thing with Rofi, I'm gonna hop into the folder that we created for it. So we're in .config/Rofi. There's nothing in it right now. What we're going to want to do is take a look at the man page for this, and you'll see down here to get a, oh, where the hell is my mouse? To get a template config file, run rofi-dump-config, and then, I don't know if that's called piping, redirect it to a file instead of to the screen. So let's do that. So Rofi, I'm sorry that I'm typing at the bottom of the screen, but I'd like to be able to read this while I type it. So rofi-dump-config and redirect that to config.rosi, and we're inside of the Rofi directory in the config file right now, so you don't need to do a path to it. It'll just do the path that you're in. Okay, so I remember this. It doesn't like the fact that we're not inside of an X session right now, so we're going to need to do a couple things first. So I lied earlier. We're actually going to want to install a terminal and a browser. I'm going to install Firefox, and I don't even know if you can install Alacrity on Debian anymore. Sudo apt install Firefox ESR-ESR is the Debian one. Whatever it is on your system, it's just look for Firefox. I don't know. You'll find it. It's not too hard. I think I've decided I just do not like the Jack Daniels single barrel. At least not the barrel proof. Maybe I need to add a couple drops of water to it or something. But I mean, it's not the heat of it that gets me. It just doesn't, it's not fun to drink. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a happy Highland Scotch where it's like, ooh, nice to meet you. My name is Highland Park 12 and I'm the most delicious whiskey that's ever been created. Anyways, Highland Park 12 Viking Honor is my favorite, by the way. If you cared, probably don't, but now you know. Okay, so we did what exactly? We installed Firefox. We're going to install Alacrity. Is that okay? So Alacrity is not a thing. I don't want to use Xterm, which I think comes with Xorg. I've used Alacrity primarily for so long. I guess, do they have Kitty? I gave Kitty a fair shake, and then I'm pretty petty, so the drama with the developer of Kitty made me stop using Kitty. So I'd like to say that I'm not petty, but I mean, that's not true. Just call me Tom. Tom Petty. Yeah. Okay. What did we just do? So we installed Kitty. Okay, so now we're going to be able to start. If we run start X, it'll run, but I don't think we're first going to need to set up our keybinds. So if we back out into just the config directory and we hop into the SXHKD directory and open up the XXHKD.rc file. So you see, this is going to be all of the keybinds that you're going to be running. I'm not going to go through all of them because, well, I just don't want to. And you're not going to really need them. I'm going to show you what I generally change, and after that I never really come back in here. So super return is what I like to use to launch a terminal emulator, but I'm not going to use URXVT. I'm going to be using Kitty. Program launcher, I don't like super plus space. I'm going to be using super plus D, and I know that's I think it's the oh my god, what just, oh, I turned on caps lock. I'm so used to using my, I got a System 76 launch keyboard, and my escape key I changed to be where the caps lock normally is. It's, well, that's loud as hell to type on, so I'm using this piece of shit right now, but it's quiet, so that's why I'm using it. So instead of this, it's going to be Rofi. Oh man, I think it's -- show combi. We'll get into that later, what it actually does. To reload the SXHKD file, it is super plus escape. That's fine. I like to have a dedicated hotkey to launch my browser. Launch Firefox in this instance. Super plus B is what I generally use. And that will be, oh, I think I have to do Firefox ESR. I recently switched to Firefox from Vivaldi. I liked Vivaldi for a long time, but it's slow. I really liked the ability to, F2 and you get like kind of a context menu that you can open up browsers or open up really anything you want with it. But it's slow, it was clunky. I switched to Firefox and I was actually quite amazed about how quickly it was. So another thing that I like to change is, actually this is fine. Oh no, I do change this. So instead of super alt plus Q or R, Q to quit out of BSPWM, like basically kill your X session, or R to reload it, I like to use shift. So super shift plus shift, not shirt. Super shift plus Q and R. And then instead of this to close and kill, I like to just do what is it? C to close and X to kill. So super X will kill a window. Essentially not a nice way to shut down, but effective. Super C will nicely close the window. It's essentially clicking the X arrow on, like for example, Steam. If you did Control X, it'll completely shut down Steam. It won't be running in the background or anything. But if you Control C, it'll still be running in the background. And that is all I'm going to change in here for now, or probably ever. I might add more keybinds, but I don't generally change anything. You get down farther and you get into some stuff that I'm not 100% positive on what exactly it does. Again, I'm not an expert on BSPWM. I used it and I like it. So I'm showing you this. So we're going to write and quit out of there. So now we have a browser, we have a terminal, I think we have everything that we need to get started. Okay. Start X. Okay. Black screen. If we super B. Hey, we got a screen. That's cool, right? I mean, that's pretty neat. Okay. So, and I did a super enter to open up this kitty screen. Man, I'm kind of amazed that just worked. So what we want to do is we want to do that Rofi thing now. So if we go back into our Rofi config directory, and it was Rofi -dump -config. Pipe that into config.rosi, I believe is what it was. Okay. So now if we open that up to edit it, there is one thing I know that I want to change. It is, like a combi or... Okay. I want to uncomment this right here. So window, run, as well as drun, I think. Is that... What is up at the top? drun? Okay, yep. So drun essentially gives you the icons. Run just gives you the name. I don't know why you would choose... I mean, sometimes there isn't a drun category for something, so... Yeah. So if we write and quit out of that and do super D, if we do super D, okay, let's look at the Rofi config again. Oh, it's just one dash. Okay, so, oops. So Rofi, oh my Lord. So Rofi -show and combi is what we are trying to show. So if we open up go back into the SXHKD folder and edit that again. Where was the super D Rofi 1-, not 2. Write and quit, super escape to reload the SXHKD daemon, and super D. There we go. There is Rofi. If we do Firefox, I see we can either pick... Oh, it's not showing icons. Why isn't it showing icons? Is that a... Might be a thing of Rofi. Icon. Show icons. Why would I not want to see icons? That seems... Whoa, buddy. What is going on? I'm trying to go down. Okay. Quit. Oh. I hit the caps lock instead of escape because that's annoying. Icons. Change this to true. And there we go. That was easy enough. So there's a bunch of different themes and things you can do with this. I'm not going to get into that at the moment because this is just the very basics of how to set up BSPWM and have it, functional. So it works now. You see that it does the binary tree layout that it's known for. What are we going to do? And we have a blank screen or a black screen. So super shift Q will quit out of the X session. and you'll see it pops back into the TTY. If we start X again, it'll open it up again. So what do we need? We need to get Polybar working. So I'm actually not 100% sure how we go about doing that. Oh, quick sidebar here. If you need to resize something, you can do Control, Shift, and H. Oh no, that moves it. So Super, Control, and nope. Oh boy, what was it? Super Alt? Okay, Super Alt. We'll make it bigger. Instead of having to remember that though, just hold down the Super key, right click, and drag. It's so much easier. And if you want to switch the position that something is on, hold Super, click with the left click, and drag. Holy balls, look at that. It's it's a tiling window manager. It's meant to be used with the keyboard, but I mean, they make really nice, like that. Show me another tiling window. Oh, I'm sure there are several, but I mean, come on, that's cool, right? Anyway, so we're just gonna check out the Polybar GitHub because I know there are things that they like you to do. Okay, here we go. So this is on the main wiki. Just run down a little bit and launching the bar and your window manager's bootstrap routine. This is how I do it anyway. I'm sure you can do it any way that you feel like. So let's actually, did we get a configuration file for Polybar? We did. Okay, so we have the config.ini. So now we just want to create a new file here called vim launch.sh. No, not dot launch, just launch.sh. And I'm just going to copy paste this. So if you don't know how to paste into Vim, Super or Shift Control V will paste as long as you're in insert mode. Otherwise, it's going to wait until it encounters the first I, and then it'll start from there. But anyways, so we do not have. We're only going to have one bar. I'm just looking through this because this usually there's like it's called example or something. Anyway, so I know we're not going to need the second bar, so I'm just going to delete that line. Right, and quit that, and then I'm going to take a look at the ini file. So vim config.ini. Okay, so this is called. So this bar is called example. So immediately we're going to know we're going to need to change that, I think bar 1. Yeah. Instead of polybar bar 1, it's going to be polybar example. But one thing that we're going to want to do is tell it that this is a BSPWM window manager. So here we go. What was this? Line 64. Just delete those two lines. And quit out. And there's going to be a lot of things that aren't, pulse audio. We don't have any audio set up or anything like that, but that's fine for now. So let's go back into the launch.sh and change this polybar bar 1 to polybar example. And I don't care about the let's actually delete that one. Okay, so now we have only the example. I guess we might as well change the whole thing. I mean, you could change this to not be called example, but why? Why do that if you're only gonna have one, Okay, so now left, if you are using BSPWM, add the following to your BSPWM RC. Handy. Okay, so let's go into the config BSPWM and edit the BSPWM RC file. So we jump to the bottom. So it doesn't have to be at the bottom, but that's where I'm going to put it. So home.config polybar/launch.sh. One of the reasons that you would want to use, this script as opposed to just running, polybar whatever, is because this will kill any existing polybar applications that you have running, so you don't have like screen on top of screen on top of screen, or bar on top of bar on top of bar. You know what I mean? So right and quit that, and then if we reload this with Super Shift R. What the heck? Super Shift R. Super Shift R. What is this? What are you? Okay. Close. Close. Super Shift R. Okay. Why is Polybar example? That's what it should be running, right? Maybe if we completely quit out of BSPWM and start again. No? Okay. Interesting. So why isn't this working? So if we go into the Polybar directory. Oh, launch.sh isn't executable. So, duh. chmod +x launch.sh. Super Shift R. Boom! So looks like the defaults are now the language, RAM, CPU usage, now IP address. I assume that if the screen was larger, it would be better. Actually, let's fix the screen quick. Okay, now I'm gonna have to get into CVT and custom resolutions. I don't really want to do that. So now we have a polybar. So if we just reboot this system, everything should just work. The more I drink that, the more it's kind of growing on me. And if we start X, boom, we have this. Open up a browser, open up a terminal, open up the run launcher. Cool. So you have a functional system now. It's not pretty, but it's functional. We got Kitty, we got Firefox, we have SXHKD, we have Polybar, we have Xorg, and BSPWM. I mean, this is everything that you would need. Oh, here's my IP address. Here's the current time. So it just must have needed a little time to populate. Quick thing is you can change the desktop you're on by clicking these, or you can super 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Yeah, that is how you set up, how you initially get Polybar up and running. It has huge gaps by default. It doesn't have a background by default. You can install and that thing, it works. Anyways, so this wasn't really like how to make it pretty or anything like that. This was simply a how do you get BSPWM installed? How do you get it functional? And as you can see now, like everything is functional. I have a browser that I can go to websites with. I have a terminal emulator that I can run terminal commands with. Polybar, I guess, isn't 100% necessary, but anyways, I'm Sky Knight. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Have a good one.